Where we left off was we just created a delay for this 10, 9, the countdown of Major Tom. We put the delay on a send and we sent it to the delay over here. We sent it to the delay bus station. We have the reverb here, aux input, aka reverb bus station, using bus 1 and 2, and we're using bus 3 and 4 for the delay. We have the input set at the delay, so anything coming here gets in. So now this count part right here in this track is going out to the delay. I just want to, it's real, a lot of people get confused about sends. So with a send, a lot of things can share it. But like this EQ for this acoustic guitar, it's inserted, it's not sent. Why is that? Well, technically you can create a bus of an EQ and then send things to it, but usually an EQ is contingent on whatever sound you're mixing. Most likely every guitar does not need the highs boosted and the lows lowered. One guitar may have been mic'd differently or played differently. So each sound, usually an EQ, is used as an insert. I don't know that I've ever used an EQ as a send. But reverbs can be shared. Again, it's great to have, sometimes songs I have 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 different reverbs and delays. It's totally different. And it's all subjective. So whatever sounds good to you is right. That's our new rule. So we're going to start mixing this, and I have the click muted. I'm going to go to the edit screen, and I'm just going to start from the top down and just kind of listen to the song going, what can make this song sound better? Let's play. I hate the bass sound. The thing is also, again, it's Xpand. Xpand is limited, and a really great plugin is by a company called Spectrasonics, and it's called Trillion. And oh my God, their bass sounds are incredible. They also have another really great plugin called Omnisphere, which is all pads and strings and all sorts of. So if you like textures and that kind of stuff, Spectrasonics makes 3 of my favorite plugins. The third one is a drum plugin called Stylus RMX. It's more techno kind of drum sounds, more electronic-ish sounding drums, whereas most people, what we're going to start with first drum plugin wise is a plugin called Easy Drummer. We're going to get there very soon. We're going to mix this song first. And the first thing I'm going to do is, since we're stuck with Xpand, I'm going to go through some bass sounds and go, is there a better bass sound for this song? So I'm going to go back to the edit screen real quick. And I'm going to just highlight one of these, and then I'm going to solo it. And again, we're in loop playback. So this, in fact, let me just make it a small loop to see if it's going to loop. Yeah, so we're looping. So this pick bass is kind of crappy sounding. So do we want to mess with it, or sometimes I just really like to scroll through presets. So that's what I'm going to do here. Doesn't sound that different. That's much better. Okay. So I'm going to start from the beginning again. That first note, it just sounds late to me. I don't know why, because if I look at it right here, it is right on the beat. I see what it is. So you see, my acoustic guitar is a little bit early. So I think since that starts the song, and I don't want to be messing with my guitars because I'm pretty on right here. Let me grab my selector tool, and I'm pretty on right here. So it's okay if I'm a little early, but I need to move the bass part. So I have to be in slip mode because I don't want it to move to a grid because I didn't play to a grid. And then I'm going to grab the trimmer tool, and I'm going to say, hey, play all the way to here. And now let's play it from the beginning. See? You see what I did? I just dragged the bass part in slip mode to match the waveform of the acoustic guitar down here, and it sounds a heck of a lot better. So we have that same thing here. Again, you can be completely anal retentive. You can see here if I zoom in, I played this note early 2. So I can grab this little super tool guy and say, hey, I screwed up, and then I can take this, there we go, that's a better way to do it, and just bring out the beginning. So now, that's the bad thing about quantizing to 100%. Most things I quantize when I'm playing it, I'll quantize it maybe 80%. So it moves it closer to the beat, but it doesn't put it right on the beat. I was just being lazy here, and I quantized it exactly 100%, but obviously my guitar playing is not 100%. So let's keep listening. And I'm not going to fix all the notes. It's not going to be fixed, but once we have more instruments come in, it'll cover it a little bit more. And, I might, if I were just futzing around, I may bag this this chorus here, and shoot for a delay. So there's effects 1 right here, and effects 2 in Xpand. And I kind of think maybe some of these sounds would maybe... Delays, I love delays. So I'm going to... I don't even know what cloud delay is. Again, so many times I find a really cool sound completely by mistake. So let's listen again. And so this is effect 1. It's going here to this hall reverb. And this effects 2 now is going to this delay. But you'll see we have no level going to the delay. Let's listen to it. I'm going to go to the bass part here, and I'm going to solo. I'm going to move this, and I'm going to put it back into a loop. Okay, now let's bring up the delay. And you see how those first two were kind of light, and I'm probably inundating you too much. Right now we're viewing notes. Each one of these are MIDI notes, right? They're triggering a note. We want to change the velocity. There's a difference between volume and velocity with MIDI. Velocity is how hard you hit something. So if I hit a piano key hard, it's going to have a different sound than if I hit it soft. Even if I have the soft part cranked up the volume, it's still going to sound like I played it soft. It's the velocity that changed. The velocity, the speed at which I hit it, the strength which I hit it with. So that's what we're looking at right here. Volume is a totally different thing. You can, ride a volume level. Velocity is pertaining to each specific note. These first two notes sound really low to me. So I'm going to grab the little hand tool. I'm in slip mode. I'm going to say, all right, bring that up. So now I'm going to go back to the selector tool and play from the beginning. And you hear our delay. It's subtle, but it'll really help fill out. I think of delays kind of sometimes as spackle. That's all I'm going to say. It's a little too much delay. I'm going to bring up the acoustic guitars a little bit. Okay, and then we have that fade in, right? To do, I'm going to go to the mix screen. I'm going to close Xpand for now. I want the whole song to fade in gradually, right? How do I do that? This is how I would do this. There's a bunch of different ways to automate levels, and sometimes it's really just fun to ride and hold on to a fader and let it ride it as you move it up and down. I like that sometimes. But for something like this, I would use the hand tool. I'm going to be in... It doesn't matter whether you're in slip mode or grid mode, really, for this. And I'm going to put my finger here to make an edit point. And I know we probably want the guitars to be maybe full volume by here, right? Right before, oops, not there. I'm going to undo, Command Z. There's where the vocal comes. Looking at my marker up here, my vocal comes in about here. I probably think my guitars should maybe be full volume by about there, halfway through the second intro. And now I'm just going to pull this down. Right there. And now let's listen. I'm going to go a little bit before. So it's really low. Now my bass part doesn't sound bad at all. There's a couple bass parts in there that are driving me nuts, so this is where I would just go in and be a little anal retentive. I'm going to go, instead of velocity, I'm going to go back to notes, and I'm going to, for now, I'm going to move this guitar track up closer and go, what the hell is going on? And I'm going to zoom in and go, okay, this one definitely is a problem. I'm just going to grab the trimmer tool. I'm going to say, okay, I can see that right there, that this needs to be there. This one also, right below there. I'm just looking at the peak of this is before the actual downbeat. I'm a little ahead of my time. Nice way to put it. So I'm just going to tweak these bass parts here, and so I don't sound so terribly off. This one also is off. And you see what I'm doing? I'm just visualizing where the waveform is. I say, okay, that one's a little early too, and I'm going to fix it. Same one here. I'm bringing this out. I'm using just the trimmer tool, and that one's a little wanky too. So I'm a little early. All right, so now, hopefully, so we've got our fade in. Let's listen. I brought it more to the left, so we could, I'm going to hit return, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so we can see this as intro, so we can hear maybe. So we may not want the very beginning to be completely zero. What if we just do like that? And we come in right at bar 1. I can live with that. All right, I'm digging it. I'm going to double click on the zoomer for the whole song. I'm going to scroll back up. Here comes the vocal. Ground control to major tom. So that first oboe note is a little bit, I didn't mean to do that, is a little bit early. So I'm going to, I think it's early. Let me zoom in right there and see what is the problem. It's actually not. Ground feels a little bit early. Sometimes I'm just going to, in slip mode, just drag it a teeny bit right there, just a little ahead of the beat. Better. Ground control to major tom. I laugh every time I hear that. So let's say we want that to be louder. So this is called clip gain. And I love this. So sometimes it's just so helpful to take a syllable. Let's say like right here, I'm going to zoom into this right here. And you see how this one word is low? There's a ton of different ways to do it, but I could also just highlight this word, whatever it is. Let's listen. Take your It's the pro of protein. And if I wanted it to be louder, I want to bring that up, but this is all one clip. But I can change that. I can separate this into its own region. Command E. So there it is, and I can say, you know what? Bring this puppy up. And I'm just bringing up the gain of that one clip, and I made it its own clip by highlighting and hitting Command E. Take your protein pills and put your... So to me, the oboe's a little bit loud. Again, I just go through and I'm going to listen from top to bottom. Ground control to major tom. So if the oboe's a little loud, I'll bring it down. Ground control to major tom. I think my octave needs some more reverb. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. I'm going to put it more to the left. A little less delay. Commencing countdown. So that commencing countdown, that vocal feels low. So that is right here. Ground control. So this one, I'm gonna make it a little bit louder, and then this one, commencing countdown, because there's more music going on there. Commencing countdown, engines on. Check ignition, and may God's love be with you. I'm gonna boost that a little bit. This is where, if I'm being anal retentive as I am, I would go through and I clean up stuff. I'm just highlighting and I hit the delete key, and then I go to the ends and I hit Command F. And then I take my vocals. And I do the same thing so we don't get messy intros and stuff. I'm going to highlight that. I'm just highlighting both tracks, and I'm hitting Command F. And I just go through and I clean up my vocal tracks and stuff and give them intros and outros, and I'm just highlighting and trimming what I don't need and Command Fing, and here we go.
This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade.
I hate that crash sound. Maybe we can make it better by putting some more reverb and delay on it. Let's try the delay. I'm going to put it on the bus, to the bus, delay bus station. Here comes the fader, that's the send. And now I'm going to go to the edit screen to where the crash is, and I'm going to play.
Ground control to Major Tom.
Don't really hear it.
You've really made the grade. And the papers want to know whose shirt you wear.
Doesn't bother me. Some people may hate it, but don't. And then I'm going to go, so, you know, adds a little more reverb to that too. So we've got reverb and delay now on this crash.
Ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade.
Bring the delay a little bit down.
And the papers want to know whose shirt you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to grab.
So me being anal retentive, I heard that I sing the word dare. Here's the main part, but I'm singing it a little bit longer on the background vocal. So what can I do? If I chop it off, it's going to chop off the end. So what I would do is I'm going to get rid of this so I'm not affecting anything in front of it. My dog is growling, biting my feet. Stop it. So I'm going to highlight just a little piece of this, and I'm going to delete it. And again, this is just kind of a quirky little fix. So I'm going to move it over until it ends where the other one ends. And then in this spot here, I'm going to crossfade. I wouldn't do this with a main vocal. This is, again, you see here? I might get lucky here because I'm going to undo that. And I'm going to take the trimmer tool and I'm going to pull this out to the left because that's a little bit too much. So let me grab the hand tool now. I'm in slip mode because I don't want to be at the grid. And there's that. But I see. I didn't really sing it the right way with that. But I'm still going to do this. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to show you just a little tweaky fix. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to grab the hand tool. I'm going to move it over so it ends where the other one ends. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a crossfade. You may need a bigger one right here. Now let's listen.
If you dare.
See, now it ends there with the other dare.
If you dare.
Don't need this.
This is Major Tom.
I'm going to boost that.
This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door.
Just bringing the vocals up.
And I'm floating in the most peculiar way. And the stars look very different today. For here am I sitting in my tin can, far above the world.
Just chopping off that end, and I'm going right here. So I'm working while it's playing, tweaking, editing, cleaning. So I make note of where I think the song ends, probably by 45. Now we're going to stop, and now we're going to do a lesson on bouncing to disc. And so let's pretend, or get your mixes finished, and now what do we do with them? How do we get them into our cars? There we go. So let's do that, and let's move on.